What does it mean to train like Son Goku? He's the protagonist of what's known to be the most popular anime and manga of all time, Dragon Ball Z. He's why I have my Jiu-Jitsu black belt. This is the dude that got me training. I remember being 13 and being told I had Osgood-Schlatters disease, which meant I couldn't play my main sport, soccer. My mom was a single parent, so unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of men I'd spend my time with. I became legitimately depressed. But what got me out of that was Dragon Ball Z. Seeing this man who looked like a straight-up demigod fight hand-to-hand with aliens made me beg my mom for a set of dumbbells. Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, without realizing it, created a character that would inspire a young generation of boys like myself to take up physical culture, to move and to lift, all with the goal of looking like this. That's why we all have a sprinkle of body dysmorphia, but who cares? This stuff got us lifting. Vegeta in his gravity room, Gohan versus Cell, and arguably the most memorable, Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time against Frieza. I was a kid doing push-ups and bicep curls while watching Dragon Ball. We knew this was what we wanted to look like. We wanted to look like the Z Fighters. And that's where we made the first mistake. The way I see it, there are 5 components to being and training like Goku. And in this video, I'll break each one down for you. The first component is something we all focused on. It's the most obvious, resistance training. Whether it's calisthenics or lifting weights, we all saw how jacked Goku was. And if you want to build serious muscle, resistance training is a must. Lift the body and the iron. And I've done that for the past 19 years. At 19 years old, I became a personal trainer, and 2 years later, a mentor of mine convinced me to try natural bodybuilding. I wasn't the person who would think about getting in spandex or stepping on stage, but since I already loved training, because Goku inspired me to, I said, why not? So I got ready and did my first show in 2014, and I didn't win it. I lost the overall. I did another show soon after and got second. These losses lit a fire under me, and that's when the body dysmorphia really started to kick in. I focused on the way I looked in a really unhealthy way, and seeing the pro naturals at the top made me realize I wasn't big enough and didn't get lean enough. So I trained and trained, lifted and lifted, and at a certain point, going up the stairs had me feeling a little winded. And don't you dare talk to me about cardio, because I'm bulking, brother. I bulked, and I got big. The next year, I cut and competed in 2 different drug-tested federations, winning those shows and getting a pro bodybuilding card in both. I then lost a pro show in Canada, but did I? Did I really? Anyway, a few months later, I went to the World Championships and placed 5th in the world as a pro natural bodybuilder in the heavyweight class. I was pumped. This fired me up, and I was ready to bulk again. But, not surprisingly, even though I was physically big, my other capacities weren't great. I didn't have good endurance, I felt pretty stiff, and I was in a lot of pain. I knew I needed a change, but my body dysmorphia was telling me I wasn't big enough. And if we're being real, I wasn't truly like Goku, who, admittedly, was kind of like my anime dad. He wasn't just big and fast. Goku was fast, flexible, agile, and had great balance. And even though he wasn't there for most of his son's life, he was still a better dad than most. I know you've heard it said that Goku was a horrible father, and I get some of it. Technically, he wasn't there for 7 years after the birth of his son, Gohan, and he left his kid to be trained by his former enemy, Piccolo. Interesting choice. He also gave Perfect Cell, the being that was threatening the planet, a full HP pill before sending his son into the fight. There's a few reasons why that wasn't that bad. Because, he still won. But I'm not gonna spend time arguing that. Anyway, the times that he was gone, he literally died. Twice. For his son. And he still managed to come back. That's better than my dad. Back to the point at hand. I was missing an essential part of the equation. Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Fighters didn't train and lift just to get big and jacked. They trained to be jacked and defend the planet by fighting. They were combatants. So, this is the second part of the equation to truly be and train like Goku. I realized that if I wanted to be more like him, I needed to learn self-defense. I needed to take up combat. And even though I was big, and to some people I looked intimidating, I can't say I was truly confident in my abilities to defend myself if it really came down to it. Let's say I had to sprint away from an altercation. I'd probably pull a hamstring. I was big and tight.
Like a tiger.
Remember when Goku said this to Gohan during the Cell games?
I know I look like I can't go on, but these bulky muscles make it hard to move fast. And if I'm going to beat Cell, I can't have anything slowing me down.
Toriyama knew that being too big isn't a good idea if you want to move like the elite. There's too much stiffness and not enough flexibility, fluidity, endurance, and power production. And I noticed this in myself. So right after competing at the World Championship for Natural Bodybuilding, I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in December of 2015. I was 265 pounds when I started grappling, and guys that were weighing 160 and 170 were roughing me up. Yeah, guys 100 pounds lighter than me were repeatedly beating me up and making me tap. Now, I don't think you have to do a martial art, but what is your combat? And by combat, I mean, how do you physically test yourself against an opponent? This opponent could be human, like basketball, tennis, or running a race. It could be abstract, like rocks in bouldering. It's the barbell if you're a powerlifter or bodybuilder. And if you compete in either of these, it's a test of who's the strongest and biggest. And now that I think about it, powerlifting and bodybuilding are very Vegeta sports, if you get what I'm saying. Anyway, find your combat and aim for progression, maybe even mastery. And you know what the most amazing thing is about actual combat and skill-based physical practice? They don't focus on your body. You're focused on building a skill, not what you look like. Focusing on performance and skill acquisition, mine being grappling and jiu-jitsu, got rid of my body dysmorphia. Speaking of body dysmorphia, would you guys believe that Goku was listed at 5'9", 137 at the start of Z? Yeah, how you feel about that? To put it into perspective, Bruce Lee was 5'8", 141. That's crazy, right? Now, if we're smart, we saw Goku eat, train, and get bigger over time. I mean, just compare Goku at the beginning of Z to Goku in the Cell and Buu saga. Much bigger Goku. My guess is like 190 to 200. Toriyama would probably say 160. You guys should debate that in the comments. How much do you think Goku really weighed? Anyway, fact is, he physically changed through the series, and we saw it happen. We also saw him eat like a beast. 30,000 calories on a training day, easy. The great thing though, is that all the food he ate seemed healthy. You'd see him eat junk here and there, but he earned that. He was in great shape. So, on to the nutrition side of things. I always ate and eat whole nutritious foods, but I'm sorry, vegans. My main protein source is meat. And it was Goku's too. I actually think that if he drank protein, it would probably be this. I've been using this stuff since 2017. Total Carnivore and the Steak Shake from Within You supplements. It's a first of its kind, complete spectrum animal protein complex. Yeah, this has organs in it. Liver, heart, kidney, pancreas, and spleen all inside. So instead of eating organs, you can literally drink them. And I know what you're thinking. Probably tastes bad, right? Nah, you don't taste the organs. This actually tastes like vanilla malt. This tastes like mocha. And this tastes like salted caramel. And honestly, if you get it, if you think it tastes bad, you can go ahead and flame me, but the thing is I know that's not gonna happen. And what you should do is make protein ice cream with the Ninja Creamy with this protein, because now you have great tasting protein ice cream and high quality micronutrients from organ meats. And if you don't want organs in your protein, because honestly I don't get why not, then this is the way. Yeah, this is the whey protein you can get from Within You at the Stronger Human store. So head to the Stronger Human store and get some protein to put within you. And yeah, I do like to eat the nutrient-rich protein ice cream, but sometimes these are the best flavors. Gimme s'more, dirt cake, and peanut butter s'more. I don't eat them all the time though. Anyway, nutrition's only the first half. This is a two-parter.
I feel kind of guilty taking this relaxing bath when we could be out there training.
I know, son. But you have to understand, sometimes rest is as important as training. Maybe even more important.
It is?
Sure it is. If we give our muscles a chance to rest and build back up, we can get a lot more out of them than if we just kept training the whole time.
So, if we rest, we could train even harder.
Exactly. Now you've got it, Gohan.
This was so wise. I've always taken my recovery seriously. Goku slept, Goku ate, and he was a Saiyan. Technically, they are a super durable alien race. But if he was like you, me, Krillin, and Master Roshi, he'd take care of his soft tissue. I do a lot of things for my recovery, and in this video here, I explain 37 of my favorite health habits. Check it out if you want a deeper dive. So, earlier, we mentioned resistance training, right? But there's something else that Goku did that I think most of us overlook. Goku and Vegeta trained very differently. In the series, we'd see Vegeta in his gravity room, bruised up and stressing the hell out of his body. Vegeta was the everyday pojados type of guy, and if you do jujitsu, you're gonna get that one. But Goku, well, Goku was a free spirit. He'd learn many different techniques and train in many different styles. He'd also meditate, which helped him get into a flow state. For copyright issues, I had to do that. And if you dig the content, then like and subscribe. We have to talk about Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, I know this isn't DBZ, and unlike many of you, I finished Dragon Ball Super. I've watched Goku vs. Jiren on YouTube dozens of times. In that fight, Goku wasn't thinking, okay? He was moving. He was in a flow state. And I realized when I trained jujitsu, I was training like Vegeta. Getting into a flow state is addictive. When in flow, your body knows exactly what to do. For runners, it's the runner's high. You finish 6 miles and it feels like 2. For musicians, you play a piece of music and it's effortless. And as a martial artist, I'm not thinking about my next move, sweep, or submission. My body just knows what it's learned. I'm in a flow. Problem is, in the past, grappling was my only flow state practice. And doing it so much was hard on my body. I was starting to have to take more breaks because of injuries. So 2 things changed. First, I made my resistance training respect and enhance my movement ability. I generally train in long ranges of motion, strengthening my weak links, and I progressively overload safely and responsibly. The programs I made for martial artists, the Untapped series, follows this philosophy and are currently on the ATG app and school.com. And the next thing I did is improve my ability at a different practice that allowed me to consistently reach a flow state. I look at it as movement meditation, rope flow. I made a full video here explaining it, and don't worry, it's only 6 minutes. Rope flow improves rotational movement ability and movement fluidity of the whole body. And if you want to learn it, you can check out my full Rope Flow Foundations course on school.com. There's over 1,000 people in the Stronger Human community, which is freaking awesome, learning this practice and learning much more. Changing the way I trained and developing my movement ability with rope flow relieved the pain I developed from overdoing my martial art. So this 4th part of the equation, I call flow state and movement ability. Goku wasn't only jacked. He was fast, he had great reflexes, he moved well, and achieved the ultimate flow state, Ultra Instinct. Now that's 4. What's the last part? The most important thing. Well, first, I need you to answer a few questions. Are you serious about being and training like Goku? Are you willing to resistance train? Are you willing to master your combat? Are you willing to take your nutrition and recovery seriously? Are you willing to improve your flow state and movement ability? And are you willing to take steroids to recover quickly and reach your goals? Now, no, I don't take steroids, so I guess I can't be like Goku and the Z Fighters. But if we really think about it, what did the Senzu Bean do? You see these guys train and get super messed up. And I know Goku talked about recovery, but then you'd see him pop this little green pill that would recover his health in an instant. You're already a Saiyan. Now you also have this advantage? Toriyama These are steroids, and the Z fighters are doping. But let me know what you guys think. Did I miss any essential part of the Goku equation? And do you really think he was a bad father? And who's pumped about Dragon Ball Daima? I know I'm looking forward to it. All jokes aside, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude not just to Akira Toriyama for creating this truly incredible, life-changing show, but also to Doc Harris for his unforgettable voice that helped shape it. I just learned that Doc passed away, and it honestly hit me a little bit hard. That was the voice that said, "Last time on Dragon Ball Z." And hearing that phrase still gives me chills. When I found out that he was gone, I shed a few tears, and I thought that was weird because I never met the guy. And then I realized it's because he was a voice that was a part of my life, my childhood and yours, and it was a voice that we listened to for hundreds of hours. He was the voice that guided us through all of the epic battles, unforgettable moments, and it became a part of who we are. It's strange how a show can be more than just a series of episodes and become a truly amazing piece of culture, a shared experience that stays with us. Dragon Ball will live on forever, and it's because of people like Akira Toriyama and Doc Harris who made it what it is. So this video is dedicated to the legendary voice of Doc Harris and the genius of Akira Toriyama. Rest in peace. Now, if you like this video, check out this video that goes over 37 habits that will improve your health, or this one that explains rope flow, which I believe is foundational practice for coordination and movement fluidity. They'll both help you become a stronger human, so just pick one.